Welcome back to another show of Player Profiler News PrimeTime. I'm your host, as always, Jake. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you still call it, at Louis Lewis 5. That's LEWY, LEWIS, and the number 5. It's also right there on the screen for you. But thanks for tuning in to today's show. Remember, check back all week. We have new shows, episodes coming out each and every day, various times. I know there's people after me, Degens. Check out Mine a Mansion, Stack Hunters, Crossover, Trade Gods, everything you name it, we probably have it. But anyways, on today's show, I will be recapping week 1 preseason games, and I'll be covering out the injuries that have occurred and what preseason 1 games, I'm going to recap them all, what I've seen and what I think of them. So without further ado, let's get fantasy. So we'll start it off right away. Week 1 recapping of each and every game. Colts versus Ravens was game 1. First thing I looked at was the quarterback battle for Indianapolis Colts. You have Anthony Richardson on one hand, and you have Daniel Jones on the other. Well, you look at it, Daniel Jones went 10 for 21, 144 yards. Not the greatest performance, but maybe it's just something about wearing a Colts jersey that no one can complete over 50% of their passes, just like Richardson last year barely did. Last game that Richardson played, he was 2 of 3. He did complete over 50%, but had 21 yards, and he got blown up and injured. I believe it was his shoulder, but I did look. He dislocated his finger. Did not return. He looks like he's able to play against the Packers this week, but this week was supposed to be Richardson's start this week and then Daniel Jones next week, so they might flip-flop just because they didn't play that much. Also, looking at the Colts, what's new, what's interesting to see? Most of their players didn't play. Jonathan Taylor didn't play. Michael Pittman. You've seen Tyler Warren, yes, the rookie, 3 catches, 40 yards. He looked really good, comfortable in that offense. With Richardson limited time, they did connect for one catch for 5 yards. Daniel Jones, though, on the other hand, threw to him a couple times. First completion was 11 yards, and that was actually the first throw of Daniel Jones in a Indianapolis Colts uniform. Was to Tyler Warren. Second drive, though, first play again, went to Warren for 23 yards. That's how he got his 40 yards. So he's very into this offense and somebody I would be looking at. He could be a late round target for tight ends if you decide to punt the position. Like I said, I'm only looking at the top 3 guys for tight end. Originally, if I don't get one of them, I'm punting it. I'm landing a Tyler Warren later on in the draft in the double-digit rounds. Who's some other ones? Kraft, I'm looking at. Even like maybe even Andrews falls that far. But certain guys like that, I'm looking at if I don't get McBride, Bowers, or Kittle later. Kittle's like a 5th rounder to me. But if I don't want to spend on one of those one-tier guys, these are the guys I'm looking for. For the Ravens, though, pretty much all their starters did not play, such as Lamar, Henry, Flowers, Andrews. So this gives an opportunity to the backups. And first thing I noticed is the backups for quarterback struggled for the Ravens again. Just in case if Lamar ever just gets hurt like a couple years ago, they had to start Tyler Huntley, or it's just bad. Cooper Rush, 2 of 4 for 16 yards and an interception. And Devin Leary was horrible. 3 of 12, 43 yards, 1 interception as well. The terrible quarterback play didn't really help out wide receivers besides LeJonte Wester. He had 2 catches, 41 yards, very speedster, and home run threat. I mean, hell, he did return an 87-yard punt return for a touchdown. So he is very dynamic, something that they are going to be looking at for special teams. But perhaps if Bateman does get hurt like he always does every year, maybe Wester can step up and provide that big playability. But we also look at running back. Keaton Mitchell looked like he did before he injured his ACL. And this was in 2023. He is now fully recovered, had year plus to recover from this injury. He had 9 rushes, 68 yards, and a touchdown. He could help himself carve out a role in this backfield behind Henry and Justice Hill. Now, moving on to the next game, the Bengals versus Eagles. Joe Cool Burrow looking great as always. Jamar Chase doesn't even look like neither one of them have even taken time off. Both look fantastic. Burrow 9 of 10, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chase 4 catches, 77 yards, and a score. These guys are just easily the top 2 for this team. Chase, number 1 in majority of redraft leagues currently. I don't blame it. I'm going to be doing the same thing if I get the number 1 overall pick in any of my leagues. So I'll have to wait and see if I get any of those. Joe Burrow would be a great match and lockup if that does happen. Chase Brown was the starter. He had 5 rushes, 23 yards, and his backup, Tyjae Brooks, struggled in his first game action, rushing 10 times for 26 yards. Other notes about this game, Bengals receiving game, Tanner Hudson, 6 catches, 62 yards, 2 scores. He was labeled as a Bengals starter on their first depth chart that was released. He beat out other tight ends like Mike Gesicki and recently signed Noah Fant. The tight end position could be very fantasy relevant this season just by looking at, I mean, it's 1 game sample, but we did see Mike Gesicki have a couple breakout games, and that could easily translate for the Bengals, but it's just who's going to be their starter. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. Listen to us. We'll give you it. We'll help you out. Follow us. Check out the website. We got news and notes coming around all the time for these type of things. Eagle side, they sat all their starters. Few notable mentions are probably my handcuff of the year. I'd say Will Shipley has to be my handcuff of the year currently. He had 7 rushes, 48 yards, caught 1 pass for 4 touchdowns or for 4 yards. If something ever did happen to Barkley, I think Will Shipley is the next man up for this team. I don't believe A.J. Dillon. He just closes his eyes and runs into his offense line. Speaking of offense line, I think it's Dickerson, offensive guard, got hurt. He's considered week to week. So that's something else you might want to pay attention to going forward as well. Others is undrafted rookie Darius Cooper, 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And last year's 6th-round rookie Johnny Wilson, 3 catches, 73 yards. Now the next game, Raiders and Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith take on their former team, but the starters for the Raiders did not look good. They struggled moving the ball. Geno was 1 of 3 for 15 yards. And rookie star, I mean, I don't even know if you could say him star right now, but rookie sensation projected, Ashton Jeanty, 3 rushes, -1 yard. I'm not buying too much into it. Unfortunate for him, but it's just noteworthy. Also, are we back on the Dylan Lobby train? He had 5 rushes, 34 yards, and caught one pass for a 6-yard touchdown. Are we in? Are you in? I'm not in. I don't believe he's going to have too much. He came into the game second half, and we still got Raheem Mostert. We still have other players on that team. Ashton Jeanty, I don't think is going to be much of coming off the field, to be honest. Also for the Raiders, Jack Betch. He's just fighting for time. He had 1 catch, 5 yards on 2 targets, whereas fellow rookie Deontay Thornton had 1 catch for 17 yards on 3 targets. He also played with the starters compared to Betch. So I think he's got to wait and see and carve out a role for himself to be fantasy relevant. Unfortunately, if you draft him in the second round in your rookie drafts for Dynasty League, you're going to have to sit here and wait for a while. It's a wait and see approach for him. For Seattle, I believe George Honey, I believe you pronounce it like that, Honey, is far ahead of rookie Damian Martinez on the depth chart. Honey got the start, showed that he could ball out. He had 7 rushes, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Also had a 20-yard catch, whereas Martinez had 6 rushes, 10 yards. He struggled in his first game action. And other rookies in this game, Tory Horton for Seattle, 3 catches, 31 yards, and a score. Elijah Arroyo, 2 catches, 14 yards. Next would be the Lions versus Falcons. Kyle Allen outplayed Hendon Hooker in my eyes. Backups for running back struggled. We didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs. We didn't have David Montgomery. So Craig Reynolds, he did not produce at all. Rookie Isaac Tesla had 2 catches, 18 yards, and a score. And one of my personal favorite rookie in speedster, Jackson Meeks, out of Syracuse. Obviously, I'm a huge Syracuse fan, but he had 3 catches, 78 yards, and a score as well. He shows that he could be a burst of speed, just in case if anything ever did happen to Jameson Williams, perhaps Meeks can get an opportunity. For the Falcons, Easton Stick is clear backup to Michael Penix, unless if they keep Kirk Cousins around. And rookie Dylan Drummond had 8 catches, 63 yards. Other rookie that was undrafted, Nick Nash, he led the FBS in receiving, I do believe, last year, but he had 3 catches, 35 yards. Nothing too impressive, though, about that game in general, besides probably Meeks. But Browns and Panthers, Shadur Sanders, keep that watch looking great. Got the start, had a few impressive throws, operated the offense, put them in scoring position, scored the ball. Now, after starting, they didn't even consider he just went back to 4th on the depth chart. They didn't have Joe Flacco play, Dylan Gabriel, or Kenny Pickett. They didn't have neither one of those 3 play. But in this game, he was 14 for 23 for 138 yards, 2 score, adding 4 rushes for 19 yards on the ground as well. Other not so much relevance, except for Dylan Sampson did get the start. He had 2 rushes, only 6 yards. And also, Deontay Johnson was starting too. Again, they didn't have, Jerome Ford or anyone else like that, or Jerry Jeudy playing that game. But he did get start, and he did not catch his lone target. As for the Panthers, Bryce Young picks up where he left off after a red-hot end of the season. He went 4 for 6, 58 yards, and a touchdown. The backfield, on the other hand, Chuba Hubbard. Last year we seen he came onto the league or into the starting role and dominated. This year, so far in just preseason, I mean, this is only preseason, but you have to look at this information and take it in. And him and Rico Dowd split it 50-50. I think that's what's kind of going to be. It might be 60-40 Hubbard over Dowd, but I think Dowd is a lot better in the receiving game. I mean, they did have Trevor Etienne, which did fumble and lost that. But nonetheless, it's something that you should be worried about. Tet McMillan looks like the real deal. He had 2 catches, 43 yards. He was heavily targeted. I think he had 5 targets. Both catches, though, came from Young. Could be one of the best late round best ball ads if you're looking and trying to stack up. Speaking of best ball, let's take a break, hear from the Podfather, and let him tell you about the rabbit.
You asked, we delivered a full best ball tournament on Fast Draft, but we do it the Fast Draft way, and it's called the rabbit, because of course it is. 20-second time clock, 15 rounds. These drafts, they take 20 minutes. That's it. So you get a lot of new people coming in and playing, get a lot of best ball bros playing, exploitable ADPs, no rake. It is the best EV in all of fantasy. You should just go to fastdraft.app, use code FAST. You get a $50 deposit match. These things are a blast, and it's the best use of your funds in all of fantasy.
Yes, download Fast Draft, use my promo code Lewis, Lewis, get a dollar for dollar match up to $50. And today we just went live in New York. Huge news. So if you're in New York, use promo code Lewis, Lewis, and you get a dollar for dollar match up to $50. And always check our Discord, Fast Draft. We always have promos on Fridays. Check it out and join. Moving on with preseason recap, Commanders versus Patriots. Commanders stars did not play, but rookie Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was the starting running back for the Commanders ahead of Rodriguez and McNichols. So I'm pretty pumped about that. He's pretty much so far lived up to the hype. He started, he looked all right. Patriots, I'm so in on TreVeyon Henderson. He took back the opening kickoff, 100 yards, right to the house. First time touching the ball in the NFL. So fast, so explosive. He had 1 rush, also 18 yards, 3 catches for 12 yards in his limited playing time ahead of Antonio Gibson. But I cannot stress you enough with having Josh McDaniels as offense coordinator. I talked about it on the last couple episodes, but James White back in 2018 under Josh McDaniels had an RB6 season. Henderson's way better than White was or ever will be in explosive strength, bigger home run ability easily. If White was 6, I mean, I think Henderson could easily finish there, but it's going to take a little bit more playing time in my eyes, just because I think there is some other players on this team, or not in the league as well, that could command for top 6. But nonetheless, get you some Henderson in the 5th round. If he slides there, take him. You won't be disappointed. Ramondre Stevenson did have 7 rushes, 36 yards, but I am all in on TreVeyon Henderson. Next game, Giants versus Bills. Russell Wilson was the starter for the Giants as projected. Finished 6 for 7, 28 yards. Not much to it, but the future looks bright in Jackson Dart, going 12 for 19, 154 yards and 1 score. Also, he had 24 yards on the ground. With that kind of play, Wilson's leash could be very short. So watch out. So, I mean, it's not a matter of if Jackson Dart starts. It's a matter of when do they start him. It's going to be, I'm thinking week 8. By the time week 8 hits, I could see Dart playing a few games for him. Tracy was the starter for the Giants due to Scadaboo missing time with injury. Tracy had 2 catches on the opening drive. He played well, but also notable for a second-year player, Dante Miller. He had 7 catches, 80 yards. He's a running back, though. Just a heads up, he's a running back. He had 4 catches of those came from Dart. This could be huge if Dart is to play later on down the road in fantasy, because it could be a huge boost for Tracy and Scadaboo for PPR leagues if he's going to do the check down and be a check down quarterback. I mean, if he doesn't see anyone open, check it down. You have running backs that could easily catch out both of those guys. But also, that might mean that they're going to ease up and maybe they're going to take the dink and dunks and help maybe even neighbors deep downfield or over the middle. I think this could be huge news for the Giants. Bills on the other side, not so much to report. Trubisky is their backup? Like, I don't know. And Ray Davis was the first to get the rock. And, I mean, that just means he is their backup. James Cook didn't obviously play, but that's just something to be on the lookout for. I seen that he did come to practice today. Texans versus Vikings. Texans has multiple wide receiver battles. John Mechie led the team in receiving 5 catches, 45 yards. Braxton Berrios, a return specialist, he had 3 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. Rookie Jalen Noel had 2 catches for 16, and teammate at college and now teammate in the pros, Jaden Higgins, 2 catches for 8 yards. Noel did have 2 catches before Higgins. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Wait until the actual team gets into like playing mode, having all their starters. I think it's going to be Higgins over Noel. Also, Graham Mertz, he's going to be cut from this team. I do believe he's going to be. It's hard because I've watched him plenty of times being a Wisconsin sport or in Wisconsin before he transferred to Florida. I don't know how he was drafted in the 6th round, but he went 7 for 14, 27 yards, 3 interceptions. Welcome to the NFL, rookie. For the Vikings, first action for J.J. McCarthy. He went 4 for 7, 30 yards. Not so hot, but hey, it is what it is. You didn't have your number 1 stud or your tight end. He also added 8 yards on the ground, too. Jordan Mason got first crack at the running back position since Aaron Jones did not play. Ended up with 4 rushes, 20 yards. Jordan Addison will slide in most people's drafts due to the suspension, and you should capitalize. I mean, he should slide a few or a couple rounds maybe and capitalize. He had 3 catches, 33 yards, and limited playing ability or time, and he could be the guy that you need, just like Rashee Rice, but Rice's value is like 3rd, 4th round, where Addison you could get 6th, 7th, maybe 8th round right now. But when you need him late in the season, he could be a great add. Cowboys versus Rams. Joe Milton started for the Cowboys, went 17 for 29, 147, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 22 yards on the ground as well. He played most of the game for the Cowboys. Other noteworthy news for the Cowboys, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue all did not play. At wide receiver, there's really nothing to report. It was just a blah game pretty much from that skill position for the Cowboys. Rams, they had national champion Stetson Bennett play the whole game due to the injury right now that Matthew Stafford is having, back soreness. And I think Jimmy G, as his backup, they're going to hold him out just in case if something does happen that Stafford can't play, which kind of sounds like he may be on the fence for week 1. But anyways, nonetheless, Bennett went 16 for 24, 188, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Rams backfield, there's no clear-cut handcuff. Blake Corum did get the start. For what's worth, he had 9 rushes, 32 yards, 2 touchdowns, whereas rookie Auburn Jarquez Hunter had 11 rushes, 41 yards. I think Corum, just because he's a veteran, is going to have the first cut. I could be wrong, but I mean, that's what I'm seeing as of right now. Hunter look explosive, but it's going to be a wait and see approach to see if the one cracks it better than the other. Steelers versus Jags. Steelers backup quarterbacks both look great in the game. Behind Aaron Rodgers did not play, but Mason Rudolph 9 for 10, 84 yards, touchdown. And third stringers, yes, Skylar Thompson was 20 for 28, 233, 3 passing touchdowns. Other noteworthy is Kenny Gainwell did start for the Steelers, while Jalen Warren did sit out. Caleb Johnson was next in line. He ended with 8 rushes, 20 yards, had 1 catch for 6 yards. Not the best thing, but hey, as a rookie, his first game, I think it's going to be work him in, see how he does. He is probably also with the second, third string offense line, but we'll see what he does in the next couple weeks. My best ball ad, Roman Wilson. He had 2 catches on the opening drives. Actually, it was 2 catches for 24 yards in the first 3 plays. I really like him. I can't say enough. If something does mature, he could be easily the starting slot receiver for the Steelers over Calvin Austin. Jags, Trevor Lawrence, 6 for 7, 43 yards. The backfield of Jacksonville is clustered. Etienne was the starter, but once the first drive ended, he was done as well. Tank Bigsby was next in line. He finished with 6 rushes, 24 yards, and just like third string Bashaw Tootin, he had 6 rushes, 24 yards as well. Tootin came in once all the starters were pulled, so that's something to keep in mind. Tank Bigsby's been getting all the hype in training camp, so that is something else to be watching out for. But I will say, do not sleep on LaQuint Allen as a third down running back option. We've seen Dearness Johnson last year and other players contribute to the passing game. And LaQuint Allen had 4 catches, 20 yards. And also in camp reports, he is far better of a pass protector than Tootin. So that could be something to watch for. Plus, that's one of my guys from Syracuse, LaQuint Allen. Huge fan, but don't sleep on him being a third down running back. Travis Hunter played 7 of 8 snaps with Trevor Lawrence. Both him and Thomas had 2 targets each. Hunter caught both of his for 9 yards. and Thomas 1 catch for 8 yards. Hunter also played first team offense and second team defensively. So it's good news for us fantasy gamers that he is playing more on offense, hopefully, and less on defense. Titans versus Tampa Bay, number 1 overall draft pick. Cam Ward, 5 of 8, 67 yards, which led the team, which is pretty sad because he only played 2 drives, I do believe. But his connection with Calvin Ridley is real. I want Ridley in drafts. I mean, the hype, and he's going to be targeted left and right, but he finished with 3 catches, 50 yards, all 3 of them coming on the first 2 drives with Cam Ward. Give me all that. I'm in on Calvin Ridley this season. Buccaneers, Sean Tucker could take over as RB2 for this team. He had 13 rushes, 50 yards, and a score. Another guy from Syracuse. I mean, these guys are good, just saying. And then Emeka Ibuka, just 2 targets, caught one of them for 21 yards. Just thought I'd throw that out there for your knowledge. Chiefs versus Cardinals. Chiefs running back order. It's been kind of intriguing. It's got to be how I thought of it. Pacheco was a starter, then Hunt, Elijah Mitchell, and Smith later on in the game. But by far, you looked at the training camp videos, usually whoever went first was a starter signaling, which was always Pacheco. But he is going much later in your drafts, so he could be a steal late in your drafts. Cardinals, Kyler Murray, 7 of 8, 96 yards, and a terrible interception right to the defense in the red zone. He did have 9 yards on the ground as well. Trey Benson wasn't so effective on the ground, having 9 rushes for 29 yards. Other note was Zay Jones played ahead of Michael Wilson. So you could see Zay Jones being that number 3 option in the passing game for the Cardinals behind Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. Moving on, Broncos and 49ers. Bo Nix struggled in the game, going 6 for 11, 31 yards. I know Marvin Mims, I think, played as 16 of 19, I think, with the starters. So that's something to be also looking up. Jared Stidham, he's the backup for sure, had a great game. RJ Harvey, 7 rushes, 25 yards, adding 1 catch for 4 yards. Harvey got to start and played 12 of 18 snaps that Bo Nix played. Also, J.K. Dobbins did not have a single rush attempt, but caught 1 pass for 4 yards. So it looks like Harvey is ahead of J.K. Dobbins and looks like he's going to be the starter. 49ers didn't have their starters playing, but their receiving core just keeps getting injured. I think their rookie Watson, I do believe, got injured. Jets versus Packers. Jets, Justin Fields went 3 for 4, 42 yards, while Wilson didn't get a single catch. Fields did spread the ball around and ended his lone drive with the 13-yard rushing touchdown. He's fantasy gold when he's playing. I mean, last year, before he got pulled for the Steelers in favor of Russell Wilson, in fantasy relevance, he was QB8 at the moment. And he could easily be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy this year, and he's going late in your drafts. Breece Hall not effective on the ground, 3 lone attempts for 9 yards. Braylon Allen, 8 carries, 41 yards. And they also mixed in Isaiah Davis, 6 rushes for 14 yards. I still see Breece Hall getting traded at some point this season. And Braylon Allen leading this team in rush attempts. And then you might even have rookie Donovan Edwards ahead of Davis, one of those two. But Donovan Edwards did have 9 rushes, 42 yards. just something to look out for. Packers starter Jordan Love struggled 1 for 5, 7 yards. His lone completion went to Matthew Golden, which is good news for Golden because Jayden Reed didn't play. He's injured. And every camp report shows and says that Golden's been having good chemistry with Love. So it'd be something to see if you're looking at those two players at the same time. I'd go with the younger and the Golden boy, Matthew Golden, over Jayden Reed. Miami Dolphins versus the Bears. Tua was effective, 5 of 6, 27 yards. Not much to pick from. While the backups again struggled, and if Tua misses time, yikes. Zach Wilson, 5 of 9, 96 yards. Missed a wide open touchdown pass right in the flats. Threw it short right at the guy's ankles. And rookie Quinn Ewers, 5 of 18, 91 yards. He had 2 fumble losses. Terrible game for him in his first game action. Devon Achane obviously got the first crack at running back, followed by Jalen Wright. Alexander Mattison was right after them, but he did get injured and had to have an emergency neck surgery in Chicago right away after he got injured, followed by Ollie Gordon. With Madison's injury, Gordon and Wright could be getting huge playing time behind Achane. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill and Waddle did not play, but Malik Washington looks like he might be the third option. Actually, probably the fourth option because you got Devon Achane as well in this Miami offense. Bears back-to-back Super Bowl champs of the offseason did not play most of their starters. Kyle Monangai, 7th-round draft pick out of Rutgers, had 6 rushes, 30 yards, and was their starter since Swift or Johnson was not playing. Rookie Luther Burden, the third, had 3 targets, caught 2 of them for 29 yards, and other fellow rookie tight end Colson Loveland caught 1 of his 2 targets for 8 yards. Last but not least, the final game was the Saints versus Chargers. Quarterback battle for the Saints still in play, but Spencer Rattler was the starter, going 7 for 11, 53 yards, adding 3 rushes for 22 yards. Next was Tyler Shook. He was 15 for 22 with 165, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jake Haener finished the game. With that, I think it's going to be Rattler for the first couple games, probably to let Shook get accustomed to the speed of the NFL, everything like that. From what I've heard is Rattler's been better in camp compared to Shook, but I just don't like the fact of rushing a rookie quarterback right away. So let Rattler play. Looks like Kendre Miller is easily the backup to Alvin Kamara. That's it for the Saints. For the Chargers, Taylor Heineke, which looked bad, going 1 for 5. I think Trey Lance should be the backup for Justin Herbert, even though he wasn't having his impressive performance like the game before. He was 7 for 14, but he is a fantasy producer, and that's what we like. He rushed 7 times, 48 yards, and a score. I love it. I want him to be the backup, just in case if anything should happen to Justin Herbert. Arondé Gadsden had 4 targets, caught 2 of them. Not much other reporting. I'm just reporting some rookie, nothing else. So that is all the recap for week 1 of preseason. Injuries that happened. Anthony Richardson suffered a dislocated finger on his throwing hand during preseason opener. That could be an issue depending on what finger actually was, but it sounds like he's going to play this coming week against the Packers. Jayden Blue suffered ankle injury in practice, shouldn't miss too much time, they say. I already mentioned Alexander Mattison will miss the season with the neck surgery, and that's just unfortunate. Jayden Reed could miss actually week 1 for the Packers with being in a walking boot. Reporters asked Matt LaFleur, and he said he could miss some time and miss week 1. Means huge upside for Matthew Golden and build that rapport with Jordan Love. Unfortunately, though, sticking with the Packers, Jordan Love is having a procedure on a finger on his left hand. Should be fine and ready for week 1 of the regular season. But just make a note of this because it's just another injury. Rondale Moore, unfortunately, could miss the season with a significant knee injury. This is devastating because that's all this guy does is get hurt and miss every year. But this could mean big opportunity for Ty Felton early in the season with Justin Jefferson resting and recovering, coming back from his hamstring injury, as well as Jordan Addison missing the first 3 games with the suspension. Tyjae Spears suffered a high ankle injury, so that could mean huge workload for Tony Pollard for the first couple weeks if he does miss an extended period of time. Also, in the same game, Rachaad White injured his groin and is expected to miss time. Like I mentioned earlier, I could see Sean Tucker jumping right over him in the pecking order and being that number 2. Matthew Stafford is dealing with back soreness still. He did have a 60-game session without limitation, but seeing so early in the season, I mean, this is an issue, I think. And it's not just an issue for Matthew Stafford, but Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. But this could help Kyren Williams, even though, it just sucks for fantasy-wise because we want Stafford to be at his best. But Kyren Williams could be a big-time ad, and he's going in the 3rd, 4th round. And he just got a new contract, so look into it. Backup Tyrod Taylor, knee procedure, supposed to be ready for week 1. And Texans place tight end Brevin Jordan on season-ending IR with a leg injury. And finally, last news, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said Brandon Ayuk is on track to return around week 6. I've been telling you guys he is on the do not draft list. I read you the statistics last year. He was not that great when he was playing, and then he got injured, tore his ACL. I don't see him being a huge time contributor, especially early in the season. But I think by week 6, you might be looking at, Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, and you got George Kittle being the top 3 guys, and you got CMC as well. So those are 4 guys that could be ahead of Brandon Ayuk in the pecking order. Just a thought, do not draft Brandon Ayuk. And with that, that is a wrap of today's episode of Player Profiler News Primetime. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to follow, like, subscribe, click the bell notification, whatever. And remember to follow us each and every day. We have new shows and episodes coming out, giving you and helping you destroy your fantasy league mates. Remember, follow us on Twitter. Myself's Twitter is LewisLewis5, LEWY, LEWIS, and the number 5. It's also right there. Yeah, right there on the screen. But also tune into my podcast. I come out with new shows every Tuesday. It's Fantasy End Zone. Give it a listen. Let me know what you think. Follow it. Also, during the season, I will be having another episode on Fridays for that. With that, I'll see you fantasy heads next week. Till then, stay cool.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.